Welcome back, everybody. Two guys.
Mike, I'm Reed.
Two stacks of comics.
Two stacks
today.
of comics this
Special
week.
edition.
Wanted to have, we're just kind of weekly or monthly, we'll kind of go through what we're currently reading, kind of what's in the stack. That we have, books that we would recommend for you, stuff that's come out in the last couple weeks. We'll try to see if we can keep it up every week, but wanted to kind of kick that off. Mike and I have some different tastes in comic books, even though we have a lot of agreements, so we'll kind of just go through some stuff we had. Also this week in San Antonio was Big Texas Comic-Con, was that what that was? So Mike had some cool finds that he found. I wasn't able to make it, but having a buddy who can go to the show for you and pick up what you're looking for is always cool, so he was able to get some finds for me as well. We figured we'd just kind of go through our stack of what we are reading currently that we're picking up. So, Mike, I'll kick it over to you. What's in your stack for today?
What's in the stack? I love this TV show, so I thought I'd try out the comic Strange New Worlds. This has been in my pull box for going on 2 years now. I haven't read it in
Frank Frazetta, Death
a year and a half, but I love the covers because they're all Frank Frazetta originals. Okay. This one got put in my box because sometimes I like Vampirella, but I just read this one, and even though it's an homage to Frank Frazetta, who I love Frank Frazetta, and even depicts in the story Frank Frazetta painting the original Vampirella cover, I thought that was really cool. I'm like, I don't know. But
not quite living up to the expectations.
Yeah, but apparently his daughter wrote it, so I'm trying to give it a chance. I am tipping my toes into the Batman universe.
Yep, Penguin #1. Yep.
That one looked interesting. Have not read it. This Conan series is on issue 2 this month. Mm-hmm. I'm loving the art.
Yeah, no, good stuff.
I'm loving it so far. Of course, my beloved perennial Blade Runner. I love Blade Runner, and I love that cover of all the covers that came out. Oh, this is Strange New Worlds 2, so I guess I did pick that. This was also wonderfully
your
in my
facsimile,
box this
one
week.
That was in both of ours. Yep.
Oh my gosh, I love it.
Facsimile, the first appearance of the Riddler.
Also, the new Flash came out, so I got 1, 2, 3, 4.
Loaded up on all the covers.
5 covers. There's my favorite. I love that one. That one is so cool.
It's a great cover.
So that was what was bought
currently
by Mike.
In yours, yeah. For me, one of the things I did, Batman, Gargoyle of Gotham. I think it's Raphael Grandpa on this one. Just really great artwork. Kind of one of these offshoots that DC does. It's a longer book. It's $6.99, but has quite a few on the page count and all that great stuff there. If you were an 80s kid like me, Transformers #1 kicked off. Daniel Warren Johnson on this one. This is probably one of the best #1 issues I've read in a long time.
You keep talking about that.
Captures everything great. If you love Transformers, this is great. If you just like good comic books, though, that's a really great one to dip into.
What
Marvel,
is
this is called God's #1. Jonathan Hickman is a writer on this one.
Oh, he's good.
$9.99 was a way high price point for it, but Jonathan Hickman wrote probably my second favorite comic run ever with Fantastic Four. And so I gave it a shot. Actually really good, introduces a lot of new characters, and I think one of the strengths of it is it lets Jonathan Hickman be Jonathan Hickman and just kind of introduce what he wants.
Right.
So that's really good. I've been reading for years, but Dynamite has James Bond's the licensing to this. This is the 5th issue of a 6-issue series they're doing right now, called For King and Country. Philip Kennedy Johnson's writing that. He's also the writer in Action Comics. That's been a really good run there.
That looks pretty cool.
Other one I picked up was called The Plot Holes. Mainly picked this up because of Sean Gordon Murphy. He writes a great Batman series called Batman White Knight. It's an offshoot. This is kind of an interesting book in that essentially what this is all these characters in the book are characters of failed literary franchises who get thrown together to try to save other books that are getting doomed and not working. Creative enough plot. I think they kind of have some interesting ones. Kind of this is like their version of like Calvin and Hobbes with like a warrior tiger and a little kid. It's interesting enough to kind of get me there. I believe this was actually released as like a graphic novel on like a Kickstarter kind of thing, but they're releasing it in individual issues, which is cool. Other ones I've been picking up as well. Ultimate Invasion. This is Jonathan Hickman. I kind of will pick up anything Hickman does. He's getting to reboot the Ultimate Marvel comic book universe. Took some really interesting turns with that. I think if you like Ultimate Universe or are used to like that, it was a really great series to read. And I kind of picked up all the issues of that. Other ones as well. Void Rivals is a book currently being done by Robert Kirkman. He's responsible for like The Walking Dead. This ties into that Transformers series. He's kind of doing his own universe that'll tie this book along with G.I. Joe and Transformers. So that was interesting. And then the rest of these just the James Bonds that I've caught up on of late. So that's kind of what I've been reading lately. Some great books I think that you could check out. I think a lot of great entry points and things, especially some of the Jonathan Hickman stuff he's doing at Marvel.
Tell us what you're reading.
Yeah, what is in your list? Is there any books you would recommend? We'd be happy to kind of check them out and spotlight them. The other thing as well, with it being Comic-Con this week, we were able to pick up some kind of finds as well. So, Mike, what'd you locate at Comic-Con this week for you?
Comic-Con, sadly, there wasn't a whole lot of comics at Comic-Con.
Yeah, unfortunately, that seems to be the thing that's gone to the wayside for
And
Comic-Cons
when, just to talk about cons in general, I was talking with a couple of the dealers there. I'm like, why are there no more comics? And, it seemed to have shrunk this year, where at one point, 5-10 years ago, it took up the whole convention center
whole
downtown.
space, yeah.
Now it's just like in a little quarter of it. And one thing is that promoters have changed since then.
Yeah.
It's a different promoter now for the last 3 or 4 years, 5 years. But the dealer said, yeah, the traffic is down on conventions. They estimated at least about 25% this year over last year. So anyway, that being said,
still able to get some finds.
I did. And I didn't know I was going to do this, but I bought a couple of these Steranko covers.
There you go. Highlight that a bit. There you go.
I bought this one, and I bought another one recently. Well, when I was at the con, I was able to find the number 1, and I was able to find this number 3, which is really cool. Jim Steranko. So I don't know. I don't even know how many are in this, but I just love his artwork. And we were talking a little bit about like, just don't see artwork.
You don't
like
see
that anymore.
artwork that detailed anymore. Yeah.
And I haven't pulled this one out, but if you've ever seen the interior of a Steranko
It's even better than the cover.
shield, it's just anyway. I'm loving the heck out of it. Now I have 4 issues. I don't know what I also was considering buying an original copy of this, because I've always loved this cover. John Buscema, this goes all the way back to my childhood. And I just, I had one back in the 70s, and I think at the time it was like, it was already classic at the time.
Yeah.
In the 70s, it was probably about, 10 years old or whatever when it came out, and it was like 10 or 12 bucks. But now if you're going to look for a real number 1, this is a reprint. A real number 1's going to set you back about 300 bucks apparently. But I was glad to get this one, I think, for like, $5-6 bucks. Then I found this, another blast from the past.
James Bond, always
from my
good to bring
childhood.
Bond in.
I don't know if you guys remember these, but when I was a kid, Marvel would put these out. They did one of these for Blade Runner that I don't have in my collection that I have to get. And but Marvel did these. I think this was Marvel. Maybe it isn't.
Yeah, it's Marvel.
Oh yeah. But how cool is this? I remember when that movie came out. Also, I couldn't turn down a Star Wars comic from
Star Trek.
a Star Trek comic from the.
You'll make the fan base mad with that one.
I know, right? And I'm a Trekkie too. I'm not a. I like Star Wars.
Yeah, you do. You're more Trek. I'm more Star Wars. You're more Star Trek. Yeah,
I'm a Trekkie. I have been for forever. But this was really cool to find the original comic. And then also here, I won a bid here at Dragon's Lair for the silent auction, and picked
Mr.
up
Miracle,
this
some Jack Kirby stuff.
I know, from the 70s, Kirby's DC stuff. So there we go.
Yep, for me, I have, Batman is my favorite character ever. I long ago gave up on the idea that I could collect every issue of Batman, given that the NFL career didn't seem to happen for me, nor did winning the lotto.
But you got the jersey.
So I've my second favorite character is Daredevil, which is a little more attainable. And so, my buddy here, Mike, was able to go down to con and find 2 of the 40 that I'm missing to complete a complete run. So issue 38 here. I got the great Daredevil with Dr. Doom and the Gene Colan.
I know.
On that.
Fresh from the con to your hands, sir.
And then you got Daredevil 46 right there. Again, great Gene Colan.
You were at the
Stanley
airport.
on
I was calling him on the phone. I'm like, Reed, they've got some Daredevils. Which ones you missing?
No, always great. So now I believe I'm 18 away from completing it, but
Oh my
always
God.
good to grab those.
We will have to have a little party.
If I get there. I don't know
Yeah.
if that number one's ever going to happen, but always
Hey,
good to get
I got there
close.
with Flash.
We shall see. But let us know what you're hunting down, what's in your stack for this week, what comics are you trying to collect, and as always, thanks for catching up with the videos. We will see you in the next one.